Hello everyone and welcome to this EV Geek Studio video, and this time we're going to do something fun. I have had my 2023 Ioniq 5 now for,
It's talking to you.
for almost 6 months. Sorry, it made some noise there. I didn't know what was going on. And in that 6 months, I have developed some stuff that I really love about the car, some stuff that I hate, some stuff that annoys me, etc. And so we're going to just talk about how it's been for the last 6 months. We're going to talk about all those things I just mentioned, and just kind of generally how my general sentiment is to the car after 6 months. In the 6 months I've had it, I've so far put 18,000 miles on it. So I'm on track for 36,000 miles this year. Really glad I didn't do a lease. Really glad I was smart. So anyway, so we'll cut here, and this next clip was I'll get my phone out. I've got a long list of notes on my phone for bullet points to talk about, and we'll go through it.
Today's video is brought to you by LastFit. Let's think about the interior of your car. It's your mobile office, it's your family shuttle, it's your sanctuary during your commute. But let's be real, the moment you step inside with muddy boots on a rainy day, or a passenger spills their drink, those factory carpets are gone for good. You will never get that clean car feeling back. Most people will try to fix this with those universal mats from the big box stores. You know the ones I'm talking about. The ones you have to bust out the scissors and you try to trim to fit, and no matter how hard you try, they never actually cover the corners, and that's where the dirt actually hides. And that's why you don't just need a mat. You need a custom engineered shield for your floor. This is why you need LastFit. LastFit creates custom fit all-weather floor mats designed specifically for your exact make and model. They use advanced 3D scanning technology to map out every curve of your vehicle's floor, and they contour perfectly. This means you get perfect edge-to-edge fit that looks like it was built into your car at the factory. And their mats make use of the factory mounting points, meaning they aren't going to slide around. They also have mats designed to protect the cargo area of your vehicle as well. And forget about that cheap, smelly rubber you come to expect from those budget rubber floor mats. LastFit mats are made from 100% eco-friendly, non-toxic TPE. They're rugged enough to handle extreme heat and freezing cold temperature without cracking or warping, and they will stay odorless all day long, even if the sun has been beating down on your car. LastFit's mats are designed to protect the floor of your vehicle. They feature deep grooves and help trap and catch liquids while still providing great grip for your feet. And when they get dirty, which admittedly will happen, cleanup is super easy. Just pull them out, hose them off, dry them off, and put them back in your car, and you're back to brand new. It's the single best way to protect the car's interior and keep your cabin looking pristine. So let's stop settling for close enough. Give your ride the protection it deserves. Joel and I have been using these mats in our personal vehicles, and we've both been super pleased. Head over to the link in our video description, plug in your vehicle's make, model, and year, and see the difference for yourself.
All right, so just before we get started and I start going through my list, just a little background in case you haven't seen any of the content that we've done with this car. So this is my 2023 Hyundai Ioniq 5. This is the SEL trim level. It is rear-wheel drive. It is not the all-wheel drive variant. I bought this back towards the end of August 2025. We traded in, my wife at the time was driving a 2019 Hyundai Santa Fe, and we traded it in on this. We actually got a pretty decent deal all around. And the 6 months I've had it, as I've mentioned, I have put 18,000 miles on the car. I bought it with 40,000, and we are currently at like 58.5.
Almost past mine, which I've had for 4 years.
Yeah.
Sad.
So I've had some decent time with the car now to really sit and think about it and kind of fall in love and fall in some hate. And just kind of looking at the general vehicle, we can kind of look, you can see if you come around front, the design doesn't, I like the way it looks, but there's certain aspects of the design that don't do awesome for wear and tear. This front end is very flat, and so it gets rock chips galore, things like that. And that's not even on my list. I guess I'll get my list out now. So let's talk about things I love. We're gonna come around back. So, the EGMP cars charge amazing. You know, this is a 2023, they introduced them for 2022. Here's something I hate, the car's asleep.
Dang it, you picked mine too for my car.
I'm open the door because it is unlocked. There we go. So, EGMP cars, these went on sale in 2022, 230 kilowatt peak, 10 to 80 in 18 minutes. And it does it. It'll actually do it. It's amazing. I love it. I came from, before this, I was daily driving a Chevy Bolt. We still have the Bolt. My wife actually has chosen it. This was supposed to be my wife's car. And she likes the Bolt. She likes zipping around, and she calls it her little toaster. Anyway, and so I've ended up driving this more, but this has been an awesome addition. You know, it replaced a gas car, and we've done several trips in it. That's why we've put 18,000 miles on it in 6 months. And charging it has been a breeze. Realistically, we end up usually overcharging because we don't get in and out of a store or whatever fast enough to get for it's at 80%. Love the charge speed. I also love that this car has HDA2. So it has adaptive cruise, it has lane centering, it has, you know, a whole 9 yards. And that's something you can't apparently take for granted anymore because Tesla just removed autopilot from its new vehicles for some reason. So no basic lane centering if you buy a Tesla. And just generally, I like it. You know, my Bolt was just plain dumb cruise control. It was just lane keep, not lane center. So it's been really nice to get back into a car that does all the kind of smart safety assist stuff. Let me see, what else did I write down as a love? Okay, I love that it automatically unlocks when I walk up to it. So you can also unlock the door, of course, by hitting the little pixel here. But if the car is locked and I've walked away from it a little bit, if I walk up to it with the key in my pocket, it will unlock. It's not gonna do it right now because there's a time period before it'll reactivate. I do love that. I also love the seats, the ride comfort, just kind of the general vibe of the vehicle. So I'll go ahead and pop it. It's not clean. I do forgive me.
He does have a toddler.
But like the seats are very comfortable for me. I'm a bigger boy. I'm not afraid to admit that. And they're very comfortable to me. And one of the things too is the space in here is great. This has they stretched the wheels as far to the corner as they could so that you could have good interior space. Like if I look here in the back seat, and who knows how messy this is where the car seat is. You can see there's a good amount of space between the car seat and where like even I would sit there. That has been great. The trunk's great sized. I'll pop it real quick. It's got some stuff in it. It's got a cooler and a table because we just finished our Ioniq 2nd anniversary party. But like the trunk is a good size. It has a front trunk, albeit small, but I do legitimately use it. Here, I'll pop it. I'll show. I mean, even for it to be tiny, and this is what kills me about auto manufacturers. They're like, well, there's not enough room for a front trunk. It's like, it doesn't have to be big to be useful. Because for me, it's not very big, and I still managed to fit a V2L adapter, the extension cord for it, a level 1 charger, my NACS adapters, and a jump starter. We'll talk about that later. But like, and that's not a very big pocket, but it's still super useful, and it's stuff that I now don't have to store in my trunk or under a floor or anywhere else. So those are just some general things I love about the car. I also love, you know, like I said, it's comfortable. It's had decent range. You know, EPA rating is 303. It doesn't get 303. But I can realistically on a road trip go about 200, 220 miles before I stop. And again, 18 minutes. And after 200 miles, you know, 70 miles an hour, you've been driving for what, almost 3 hours straight? I could use a break. I'm not one of these, I can drive 500 mile stints. I'm past that point in my life.
And he's still young, folks. He's still young.
But I am past that point.
Yep.
So let's talk about some annoyances while we're talking in front of the car. This car has one of the most sensitive radar systems.
You took mine too.
Not even that. Well, I'm not even talking about that one. So HDA2 is great. The adaptive cruise will cancel out and fail basically anytime it is lightly raining. Because Hyundai, to try to integrate it and make it look pretty, the radar in the front of this car is right here in this perfectly flat piece of plastic. And when it lightly rains, water gets on it and then stays. And it causes it to where it can't see. And when it does that, it kills your adaptive cruise, it kills your forward collision, all that jazz. And you can't do just dumb cruise control. So then you have no cruise control. Super frustrating. And it's happened to me enough times that I feel like it was worth mentioning. And what you were talking about, the parking sensors go off all the time.
Red lights everywhere.
Red lights, no one around you, a car, I mean, this far away from you.
Yep.
if they have rear parking sensors, it's like they clash with each other, and it will dee while you're just sitting
At
there.
almost every red light you
At
pull up
almost
to.
every red light, and I can hear you. Turn them off. Turn them off. They turn back on.
They turn back on as soon as you left the gas.
As soon as you start moving again, they turn back on. So, and it's like, I do like having them because when I'm parking places, you know, and I'm trying to make sure I'm squeezed all the way into the spot, whatever. If it's a tight parking lot, I want to make sure I'm fully in it. Like, it's nice to know that, okay, I'm not hitting anything. But then at the same time, when they're going off constantly, then you don't trust them. Mm-hmm. So that's been a bit of a gripe. Let's see here. I'm going to go around back now. So I love the way this car looks. I really do. I love the design. I love like this kind of retro-esque, some of the retro-esque cues to it, whatever. I have 2 issues with the rear of this car. Again, I'm annoyances, not hate. I know why. So they made the wheels as far apart as possible to give you as much interior space as possible. That means anytime the roads are wet, the rear wheels immediately just splash every bit of road grime on the back of the car. It is impossible to keep the back of this car clean.
Even with the little plastic
Even
lips?
with the little flaps or whatever. Okay. Maybe I need to get more intense ones. Yes. I don't know. It's impossible to keep it clean. And because it's impossible to keep the back of the car clean, Hyundai, for some reason, and they fixed it for the 2025 refresh, there's not a wiper on the rear window. And when I bought the car, I was like, oh, that's probably not that big a deal. It's probably not that big a deal. So we just had some snowy, icy weather, salt all over the road. My back window was absolutely covered. I could not see out of it, period. And I don't have digital mirror because I don't have the fancy enough version. So I couldn't see out of it. Can't clean it, whatever. So I had to just go through a car wash because it was freezing cold outside. So all the ice buckets were frozen. So I couldn't even go to a gas station and squeegee it. So I had to wash my car while it was salty and raining because I wanted to be able to see out the back window. And I'm just like, why is there not a wiper? And if they wanted to be sleek, they could have put one up here. Mm-hmm. Other car companies do that, but they didn't.
The EV9 back here has the wiper hidden up underneath. So
but yeah. They didn't even care about that because the 2025, the wiper is right here. They just didn't put a rear wiper in for cost? I don't know. Anyway, that has legitimately, and ultimately not that, and I mean, you can see here, it's still dirty. Mm-hmm. I'm like touching it and I'm seeing my handprints. Anyway, okay, what's next? Wish my Face ID worked more reliably. That's not a Hyundai issue. That's an iPhone issue.
That's an Apple issue.
One pedal. Let's talk about one pedal. If you want to hop in on the passenger seat real quick.
Or as we call it, iPedal.
Or iPedal, yes. Let me get the car booted up. So, my first annoyance. They don't remember what mode you're in. So, for example, I just turned it on, and it's in level 3. If I go into drive, now it's an iPedal. Yep. iPedal's full one-pedal driving, whereas the other levels of regen are just, it'll get you down to almost stop and then roll. Here's my issue. So it's an iPedal now. No, now it's not. And when I go back into drive, it's not.
So it took it out.
It takes it out whenever you go from reverse to drive. And if you turn the car off and turn it back on, it takes it out. It doesn't remember the setting, and that annoys me. Mm-hmm. The second issue I have is the tuning is not always there. If you're like, for example, on the interstate in cruise control, and you get out of cruise control and it goes back into iPedal, it is very jarring. It's like, and I have not been able to figure out any combination of pedal position or whatever to smooth it out. It just is, no matter what, it seems to just always lurch you around. It's just a little frustrating.
Pull out your notes.
Pull out my notes. Okay, I'm gonna hop out. So my next one is the white interior. So I really like the way it looks. It has been way harder to keep clean than I expected it to be. And you can see it most on this side. So I'm someone, I wear jeans. I wear old, like these aren't new jeans. I have not been able to get any of these blue jean stains out of the white bolstering on the seat. And I actually noticed it's on the passenger seat now too from my wife. And I've tried all sorts of cleaning material, like whatever, and I just can't get it out.
If you have any ideas, anyone,
drop them below. I'd love to hear it. Because,
Yes.
I mean, I don't want to tear it up, but at the same time, I can't get them out. And ultimately, it's not that big a deal. But I was expecting it to be a little easier to clean. You know, from what I understand, Teslas are pretty easy to keep clean, whatever. Something about this material just doesn't seem to be the same level. In my last annoyance I have listed, so I came from a Chevy Bolt. I was a bit spoiled, apparently. In the Bolt, it would automatically turn on your heated seats and your heated steering wheel if the temperature was cold. So like if I remote start the car, the heated seats and the heated steering wheel would automatically come on if needed.
Similar to Tesla.
Whatever. And like if you're just driving around and the heat comes on, it'll automatically kick your heated seat on. This does neither of those things. You have to turn on the heated, oh, that's another annoyance, and I didn't even write it down. Anyway, we'll talk about it in a second. You have to manually turn on the heated seat and heated steering wheel whenever you use it, which I know that's, and again, that's why it's an annoyance. It's a minor issue. But when you know other cars do it automatically, you start wondering, why doesn't mine? When you remote start the car, you can't tell it to turn the heated seats on. You can use, in the app, you can tell it you want the heated steering wheel, but you can't do the seats. And that doesn't make sense to me. Mm-hmm. Why wouldn't I be able to do both? Or just have it, anyway. Let's go around the front. Let's talk about that one thing that I completely forgot about until right now.
That noise that you hear the car making.
These arrow shutters constantly close, and here in just a second, they're going to open back up.
There they are.
It's like when you're at this borderline temperature, they just sit there and constantly, and you hear the fans running, and the fan's going to stop, and then they close. And it's just a constant cycle. So anytime you're just sitting in the car, you can hear it.
Even when it's in drive?
Even when it's in drive. Like, no matter what, if the AC is on or whatever, they're just constantly meep, 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 meep.
Think it's a software issue? Or?
I don't know. But as someone who doesn't like noises, yes, it drives me crazy. All right, let's talk about things that really make me angry. We're going to hop back in the car.
And Sebastian's hard to get angry.
This software kind of sucks.
Tell me why, Sebastian.
So let's first just talk about one of the things I loved. The charging speeds. 18 minutes, 10 to 80, 230 kilowatts. Good. If you can get the car to precondition. And the only way to get the car to precondition is to navigate to a charger. So like I can hit this.
No, these are the older models, correct?
Right.
Yes.
On the 2025s, there's actually a manual precondition button. So I'll hit this. I'll come here to search for charging stations. I'll scroll. I'm actually going to do my favorites. Cool. Charge point. Route. Start. And here in a second, it'll actually pop up and tell me it's preconditioning, which is great. I mean, I'm glad that that works. Mm-hmm. For the most part, it doesn't always work. And this is one of those things where we talk about it's just kind of a buggy experience. I want to show you something. So I'm going to come back in here, and you can go to the settings. And you can see battery conditioning mode is turned on. Mm-hmm. I'm now going to get on my phone. I'm going to go to my Hyundai app.
Which takes a minute to load.
It does take a minute to load. And if you want to show what I'm doing here. So I'm going to come on the charge screen. Let's say at some point, those are new buttons. Oh, and they're gone. Never mind.
You thought you had it, and you didn't.
Say I'm somewhere, and I'm like, oh, I want to change my charge limit from the app. I'm going to say I want to set the 80%, and I'll hit apply. Watch this. Go back to the screen.
Oh,
it turns off battery preconditioning. Yeah. And so if you didn't know you did that, the next time you go DC fast charge and it's cold or hot or whatever else, you're going to get bad charging because the car for some reason turned battery preconditioning off. All because you used the app? What?
Yeah, that's weird.
And then it looks like in here, once it finishes spinning, because I'm setting my charge limit back, I should have just done it on the screen.
The app could be another thing you...
Yeah, this is more of an annoyance for me.
Yep.
You see down here, it says preconditioned battery. This isn't a button. This is just the status for some reason. So like if the car is driving and preconditioning the battery, that'll say on.
Okay.
But like if I'm driving the car, I don't care because I'm not going to be using the app while I'm driving the car. So, and then just generally other little things about the software. It's just not, you can tell it's not an EV first system. You know, it's the same software they use in all their other vehicles. And I just don't love the integration. It doesn't have wireless CarPlay, which as someone, I mean, I generally don't care about that, but there's no technical reason why I can think of that it would. As I have cords everywhere in here to make sure I can plug my phone in. And like CarPlay looks good when it's on here. I'll plug it in real quick and give it a second to connect. In iOS 26, it takes good use of the full screen displaying. It does the whole smart display zoom. Like, it looks good. It's responsive. I just don't understand why it couldn't do wireless. And just kind of in software, like, I don't understand why we don't have a heated seat button. Why do I have to hit this down here, warmer, to then pop up on the screen and turn on the heated seats and the heated steering wheel? It's like, this should just be a one button issue.
On the doors or something,
I don't know why it had to be a separate panel. All right, let's look at my notes again. Also, while we're talking about climate controls, the only way to get a heat pump in these is to get the all-wheel drive model. And that doesn't make any sense to me. It's been colder here lately. And I can tell my efficiency has had a major hit driving around because it's just doing plain Jane resistive heat. Why? If Hyundai can put a heat pump in the cars, because they put one on the all-wheel drive models, why didn't they just do that on all of them?
You think it'd be more cost efficient for them to put the same thing in all cars?
Yeah, that one baffles me. And I said it was a love at the beginning, having HDA2. Let's talk about other reasons why I kind of hate HDA2. So this is a torque wheel.
Explain what that means.
So that means basically when you're in lane centering, whatever, the only way it knows your hands are on the wheel is through input. So like, if it's lane centering and it's expecting you to do some amount of kind of physical input into it.
Or moving the buttons up and down, it works too on my car.
It does not work on this.
See, it doesn't work.
It only works by torque. Versus a lot of the newer cars and the newer Ioniq 5 uses a capacitive wheel where it's literally like, this is a capacitive screen that feels your touch. If the wheel feels your hand on it, it knows you're touching it. Torque wheels don't have to be bad inherently. In this car, it is sometimes infuriating. The frequency in which I will be driving on the road in HDA2, doing lane centering, cruise control, all that jazz, hands on the wheel.
Because they're supposed to be.
And it will come up on the screen and say, keep hands on wheel, while I'm actively holding it. And I don't notice it because it doesn't necessarily make a noise until after a certain amount of time.
It pops up over in that circle.
It'll say it again, and it'll be red, and it'll start going, ding, 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 ding. And I have to do this to make it. And now my hands will be on the whole time. I literally have to go, give it a hard input. Well, you know what happens when you actually give it a real steering input?
Pops out of HDA.
It disengages HDA.
Yeah.
And so then I'm like in a jarring situation until it reactivates and starts lane centering again for another 45 seconds until it tells me I'm not holding onto the wheel. Which stinks because it does a legitimately good job.
And you think all these things could be fixed with a software update?
You would think.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that in a second. Okay. And HDA does a great job. It does a good job of sticking in the lanes. It does a good job of maintaining speed, maintaining distance. It does a good job staying centered. And because it's doing a good job, I don't need to give it that much input. And since I'm not needing to give it input, then yeah, you're going to think I don't have my hands on the wheel. But I do. And if me giving the input then takes you out of the drive, like, what's the point? What are we doing here? All right. Software updates. So this vehicle does support OTA updates. So I come in here, general.
You got one recently, didn't you?
I did get one recently. And you can see I've got one on January 31st. So I mean, pretty recently. Here's my issue. Tied to a subscription. So I technically will have to re-up my Blue Link on May 29th, 2026 if I want to continue getting OTA updates.
And it's $19.99 a month.
And it's not super cheap.
Or maybe one up to $24, I don't know.
My other issue is these, as far as I can tell, the OTA updates are only for the infotainment system. They have nothing else to do with the rest of the car. And it's 2020. Now, I understand this is a 2023, so technology has changed, but it's 2026.
Yep.
Vehicles should be able to update every module in the vehicle because it's all connected. My infotainment system is talking to, wrong button, this one, is talking to the BMS to get battery state of charge and things like that. And and the navigation talks to VMS to tell it to precondition en route. It does all these things. This screen and this screen are linked together. Whatever. Why can't the modules all kind of talk together? And other weird software bugs that I've run into. So you can see right now it's daytime. So these screens are white. Hyundai doesn't seem to use the light sensor to determine when it's dark outside. They seem to go off of the weather data of what the sunrise and sunset times are in your area. which means you run into situations where if you're like driving through a tunnel or it's a stormy day out or just a super cloudy whatever day, these screens will be blinding white at you, but it's actually dark
So
out.
if you put your hand over that sensor while you're driving.
Well, I mean, you can see right now, my headlights are on.
Yeah.
But this is still all white.
Yeah.
My wife's Bolt, for example, if it gets to a dark enough point out, like whatever, and the headlights come on, these screens go into night mode.
Okay.
That's just how it works. Secondary issue behind them seeming to use some form of connected logic to do simple day to night transfer instead of just using a light sensor. Say I get out of the car at 3:28 p.m. I don't get back into the car until it's nighttime. I have to wait for the infotainment system to fully boot up, get out of that little user agreement confirm menu before they'll switch to night mode. Because it's like it has to fully boot up, connect to Hyundai, get weather data, and then switch them over. So I know that's such a weird nitpick and I mean, it is a nitpick, but it means there's like a 30 to 45 second window if you get into the car at night where the screens are bright white blinding you. And it's one of those things like, how have we not figured this out? One last thing that drives me a little mad. We're going to get back out of the car.
Okay, let's go. Once again, if you haven't done so yet, like and subscribe on YouTube. EV Geek Studios. All right, Sebastian, what's the final thing?
Remember how I said the car automatically unlocks?
Mm-hmm.
Great feature. Love it. It does not automatically lock.
It does not.
My 2019 Chevy Bolt does not automatically unlock, but it does automatically lock. If you get out of the car at the keys, there's no keys in it. After like 5-10 seconds, you'll hear it, boop, it'll honk, it'll lock. This car doesn't do that. And it's in the software. You can tweak and hit, like if you can get deep enough into the software, you can enable it. But they don't have it by default enabled.
It took you some time to code
Well,
around.
I've got a workaround we'll talk about for a second. And you're probably going to hear in a second, hear my workaround kick off. And there's some really cool people that have figured out workarounds. Corbin, the Ionic guy, has a module that plugs into the trailer hitch wiring so that if you get out and there's no keys in the car, it will automatically lock. But you shouldn't need a third-party aftermarket accessory to do that.
Mm-hmm.
My workaround for it is tied to my use of CarPlay, and I'm using the Shortcuts app on iPhone and the BlueLink API to basically, when I unplug my phone from CarPlay, it'll come up and say, CarPlay disconnected, running your automation. And my automation is it waits 3 minutes and then sends a BlueLink API command to lock the car. I shouldn't have had to figure that out. Yeah. That's basic functionality.
So my son, who's not home, his 2023 Mazda 3 has walkaway, unlock, and walk up. A walkaway lock and walk up unlock. So yes.
I mean, my 2019 Bolt.
And that's a $17,000 car. So yeah.
Yeah, my 2019 Bolt will lock itself. And it's just little things like that where there's areas that aren't polished that makes me kind of, it's just kind of.
Now, is that a feature they did fix for the 25?
I don't think so. I think they still
I think my wife's, it has.
So
it has one or the other.
It automatically unlocks. It also has phone as a key.
Yes.
That's the thing. This car supports key cards and technically supports phone as a key.
But it's not activated.
As long as you have an Android phone. And you have to put your phone on the wireless charging pad, which I didn't even point out. Let's get in the car real quick. This is just annoyance.
I need to shut my door?
No, you're fine. So ignore the mess. The wireless phone charger is all the way down here on the floor of the car. A terrible location for a wireless phone charger. Okay, we can get back out.
Okay. He digressed.
So yeah, that was a lot of negative there. I still love this car. It is still one of my favorite EVs on sale. They made major improvements for the 2025 refreshes, like adding a manual preconditioning button and moving to a slightly more updated software stack and things like that. But I can't help but just kind of get stuck on, these cars support OTA updates, or they could even do dealer updates. Mm-hmm. Hyundai, if they wanted to, could fix a lot of things through that. And it feels like at this point they're choosing not to.
Because they want you to buy a new one with those
battery,
fixed.
that battery preconditioning bug I showed you of in the app, if you change the charge level in the app and then it turns off the feature for some reason, that's existed since these cars launched 4 years ago. How is that not fixed? Mm-hmm. And that's kind of just my kind of takeaway on it is like, I love this car. I would recommend this car to many people. There's also one thing that sticks in the back of my mind. The amount I see on the internet about ICCU failures is a little terrifying. Has your EV6 done that? Or has it just been the charge port?
It's a charge port. It's just I've been in for the recalls for the ICCU, but no ICCU failure.
So I understand the whole thing about, Facebook groups about cars typically are only occupied by people who have something to say about their car, something to complain about, whatever. But the volume of posts you see, it can't be a small issue.
Mm-hmm.
And it feels like, I think Hyundai says like only 1% to 2% have failed, but it feels like it has to be more than that. And it's one of those, it does wear on you. Every time I'm in my car, I have that in the back of my mind of like, is it just going to break down?
It's covered under warranty, but
it's still
you could be in the middle of a road trip and it just stops working. Yeah.
And and little things like yours, ever since you had your issue on your charge port, every time I've taken this car on a trip, like the day before, I'll go to a DC fast charger and make sure it charges. Because for you had an issue with a different module that's ICCU adjacent, but it wasn't the ICCU.
It was level 2, but not level 3.
Yeah, your car would AC charge, but not DC charge.
Yep.
And it would really suck to find that out 200 miles away from home.
I don't know why I tested it out. I think I was just out and about one day at Franklin charging, and I said I need to plug it in charge. I was like, whoa, and I thought it was something wrong with this charge, but it was my car. So.
By the way, my car never locked because we had the doors open when it sent the signal.
Okay.
So if you're wondering why it hasn't locked yet. Anyway, let me just double check my list.
All right.
Any questions?
No questions.
No questions, really?
Nope.
Okay. Well, I did legitimately get through all the stuff I'd kind of written down. I do still love this car. I've obviously must like it. I've put 18,000 miles on it in 6 months. As it tells me now that my vehicle door is unlocked. It'll tell you that a lot. Trying to think anything else weird. Oh, so this, Doug, if you watch this, hi Doug, you've brought this up a few times, and it's very true. They advertise that this car will charge at 48 amps on a level 2 charger. Technically true. Until the port gets hot.
Yep.
And then you'll sit there, and because I have an Emporia charger, I have a graph and an app that'll tell me, and you'll sit there and watch, and the charge rate will just over and over again because the port gets hot, and then it just goes into this like spiral of not any consistent charge speed. Which ultimately for me is not a big deal. I put that more in the annoyance category. Mm-hmm. But why? Why is that an issue? And it almost feels like it's an arbitrary limit because I want to say like on my OBD2 dongle, it says the charge ports are like 100 degrees when it starts doing the fluctuations, which for plastic is not that high.
Nope.
It gets hotter than that outside here.
It gets hotter than that inside your car when it's on a normal day. Yeah.
So I don't know why, but that's something he had. Our friend Doug, he's got an Ioniq 6. And
which had an ICCU failure.
Which just had an ICCU failure. And he's had the charge port replaced on it twice. Yeah. The first time because of that issue, and then there was a software update where they made it start doing the fluctuations, and I don't remember why he said he had to have it the second time. And we think it's got a second ICCU failure now. Fun stuff. Yep. And that's the kind of stuff that wears in the back of my mind. And I just don't understand how Hyundai hasn't fixed it yet.
Is that all, Sebastian?
Golly. Otherwise, I love this car.
Yep.
It's been a great car. For what I paid for it, I still feel like I got a solid deal. And as long as I don't have any more issues or any issues, I haven't really had any issues. You can live with the annoyances. I can live with it. Yep. There's not anything so majorly wrong with it that I'm like, I have to get rid of this thing. So, yeah. Well, thank you all for sitting through my rambling about my car that I've now had for 6 months. As always, if you enjoyed this video, leave a comment, thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe to our channel, Geek Studios, and I'll see you on the next one. So long, everyone.